Hi guys, I just wanted to do a quick video on what we spoke about before with UFOs and how it's basically just light that can be manipulated, from different sources. It could be a spiritual being that is emitting light, and then it's just showing the lights in a way that makes us think that is a spaceship from another planet, or anything like that. So the demonstration here I spoke about it in the other video, was using a laser pointer, right? So if you see this red dot behind me, this is not a firefly in my apartment. This is from a laser pointer. So if there's some cat or dog that's interested in this red dot and is trying to chase it, it's going to find it hard to keep up with this thing, because I can make it vanish just like that and reappear. So when we see videos from people that say they've caught something very bizarre in the sky, like flashing lights or very rapid moving lights, they sometimes think that those are spaceships, because they're they're moving very fast, and you know that's just what they look like to them. So with the laws of physics that we have, I mean that we know of, our our aircraft can't do that. Our aircraft can't do maneuvers like this. No way. If we could, we'd have like aerial supremacy. We win all the dogfights, in the skies. But I just want to show that it's basically just lights that can be manipulated to make us think that. And another example of this would be, just because we see something, visually, it doesn't mean that it's something that's in our world that's real. So an example of this is called the Penrose Stairs, and here's a picture from a website. So you might have seen something like this before, but can you imagine if someone actually had a staircase like this, where you're trying to walk up the stairs? That's physically impossible. This is an optical illusion. And there are several more. If you're interested in seeing them, you can look up Penrose Stairs, and you'll probably find similar images to this. Okay? So just because we see something, it doesn't mean that it's a real thing. I can draw a picture of some creature that I made up. That doesn't mean that you can, start looking for it around my neighborhood because I made it up. So just because we see something, it doesn't mean it's real. So seeing should not be believing, because if that was the case, if we just believed everything that we saw, and even hear, using our senses, if we just believe everything that we hear or see, then when we're at the movie theaters, for example, we're going to think that that movie is real, like it happened yesterday, and someone just filmed it, and then we're watching it. But when you watch a movie like the Avengers movies, like Infinity War or Endgame, I think most people would not believe that that's real. Like, they know that that's a fictional story and these people have incredible abilities, but it's just for that story, it's not real. If I hear a helicopter propeller, the sound, if I hear that and I have my eyes closed, I wouldn't think that the helicopter is below me. If I wanted to see this thing, I would naturally look up, because my experience with helicopters are that they're usually above people, above the ground. They're not beneath my seat, in my apartment. So we have to use our experience with things to make those judgments of what it is, where to look for it, based on what we've seen it and heard it do so far. So the same thing with these lights. I want to explain that those lights can be caused by spiritual beings that are trying to deceive us, and I think that is the goal of those lights. It could be spiritual beings, or it could be something man-made. To I think is still along the lines of deception, because my my take on the whole UFO phenomenon and the the paranoia that people think that the government is hiding the UFOs, it just makes me think that they want us to think that they're real because it will unify us. Like in the movie Independence Day, when they're fighting the aliens and then they decide that the world is going to fight together under one banner. And it sounds great. Like, hey, the whole world is unified against a common threat. But with unifying the world, that's something called, I believe, globalization. And that would mean we would all be ruled under one government, under one like man-made government. So if you think that you have freedoms now in the US and we become part of a global government, you may start seeing some of those freedoms disappear. So that's what I think the UFO phenomenon is about, is to create a threat that we believe exists so that we're okay with the world telling us what to do and taking over, different parts of our lives for the sake of global peace and being united. I live in the United States and I love this country. I wouldn't want this to be given up and like absorbed into some global government that doesn't have our best interests, you know, um, in mind. So that's where I stand on UFOs. I'm convinced that it's a spiritual phenomenon or man-made phenomenon with the purpose of deception. If anyone wants to talk about, feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to, respond the best that I can. So have a good day and I'll talk to you soon. See you guys.